All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the coffee run. Make sure that I've got my right microphone on today. I think I do. I do. Okay, good. Good to see y'all here. Great point, Lee, by the way, about people. I think what's cool is this. We've got like a pretty good audience, not a pretty good audience. We had about 15, 20 people today in the daily paycheck, which is lower than normal, which I don't know why that is. But regardless, weird things happened out there today, and good things for us to talk about. It's actually the perfect day out there to reference for today's talk, which is about units and strategy math and all that kind of stuff. And I know there's always this talk about, do you work the come out or not? And with the difference of working the come out or not, right? It doesn't matter. Or waiting, he's saying, wait a couple rolls. The odds are the same whatever roll. That's 100% true. There's no difference, right? The seven's coming. When the seven's coming, it don't matter, right? You can't tell when it's going to come. You got to deal with it when it does. And so I've always been this kind of, I don't work the come out when I'm playing just box numbers, because if my predilection is to go out there and just kind of replace the bets, I don't want to get beat by multiple come out sevens, like back to back to back to back, right? The rhythm of the puck being on or off, working your bets that way, the rhythm of that is you get a roll where you won't lose all your money 2 consecutive rolls. That's the idea, right? But ultimately, if you shooter sevens out and then you put your bets back up there but turn them off, they set a point and then they point 7 out, you were alive for 2 consecutive rolls and saw it. It really ultimately doesn't matter, right? None of it actually matters, which is interesting. Anyway, we have a lot to talk about today, and I think thoughts like that can certainly stay up in chat for sure. Put a PC in front of it. I can talk with you through some of my thoughts on things as well. Dark says the debate working or not working with a 6 or 8 field. Yeah. Do you work it or not? Like, you got every number covered, right? In the case where every number is covered, especially on Iron Cross, what's the difference? Just work it. Just work it. Now, again, I lost twice on the come out 7, and we can talk about the whole run today, right? I lost, and when I was playing Greg's strategy, right, I lost the come out 7 twice out of how many throws that I have. Okay. And in fact, that series of throws today on the other strategy, with all those things that I did, I would have made probably 15 paychecks today, right? At least 15 paychecks today. If the other strategy was 2 hits and off, 2 hits and off, 2 hits and off. It's all about rhythm. You know what I'm saying? And I think when you got the Iron Cross going, you may as well work them all. Now, if you're going to lay something, especially, like I know Jacob does this Iron Cross variant now where he's got the 6-8 field and he lays the 5. He's got everything covered but the 5. He works the come out. Why not? You got the 7 working for you in that case. You know what I mean? So you just got to rhythm it up the way you want to do it. And there's no right or wrong answer there. It's just the word I always use is your risk appetite, right? What is your personal risk appetite or risk aversion? Like, that's what it comes down to ultimately. The stats don't matter. Anyway, let's get into some things here. First things first, I don't want to go here. Not that screen. I want to go here. I talked to Ed Robinson a little bit yesterday, and as you know, Ed is dealing with a huge family tragedy right now. People want to send flowers to the family and that kind of thing. He requested that if you feel it in your heart to do something, he wants you to donate money to the VMF, which is the Veterans Moving Forward. Okay, I will put a link in this description. I'll put a link in Discord to that. I'll put a link on the website to it. Go to veteransmovingforward.org is the website. They're the charity that we worked with last year for Craps for the Cure. They raise dogs and train them for vets that have PTSD. Okay, Ed's son had PTSD, and that charity was very close to his heart. When we talked about it before the event last year, and it was like, I'm like, Ed, this one is speaking to me, and I'm like, because I know your story, right? And I wanted that to kind of be a thing. So anyway, that's where he wants the money to go. If you're going to donate flowers or whatever, send it to VMF, please. So another vet who has PTSD can maybe get a dog, right? And we're looking at doing them again this year. I want that charity to be kind of our thing. So I love those guys. So that's what's happening there. So if you want to donate to Ed's family, or you feel so inclined, go to Veterans Moving Forward and make a donation in his son's name. That would be a beautiful thing to do. You can do that. All right. The other thing I want to talk about is, Jen says, I don't know when that's going to be, where it's going to be. I have no details. if I get details, I will certainly share them. Ed may or may not want a bunch of people there, so I don't know yet. So we'll find out from that too. And Waylon says, of course, prayers for Ed and the family. It's crazy. It's crazy, right? This whole thing. It's oh my God, it's crazy. Yeah. Greg says also 555. His son's name is Christopher. Different last name than Ed's. I don't have that. I'm not going to share the whole name with you online, but yeah, his name is Chris. All right. So let's see. JR is talking about Russian roulette improvement. We need to talk about some of this stuff. I have a lot of things I want to go over with regards to daily paycheck, and I may just go to my table and work through it with you a little bit here because I think we're getting into some interesting areas. We did the Iron T today, and today was a weird paycheck because we went down in our regular strategy, but Greg was there, so I switched over to the Iron T. It had, ups and downs, and it was actually kind of a fun session. I enjoyed playing it that way. And we had a great run. We had two great shooters that we dodged the 7 for long enough, made enough points along the way that thing made money. It actually brought us back from being down 3,000 to almost even to down to $100 and then almost even again. Like it was right. These big swings. And we'll talk today a little bit later on about how we manage our losses and how we account for our wins. I think that one of my favorite sayings from Jacob at Wager Me This is actually on our strategy screen. And we'll talk about this in a minute. I'm just going to switch over to it. Let's see. I'm going to switch to this screen here. We always talk about this, right? This kind of gambler's mindset sort of thing, right? Where you have to have a goal as a North Star. And, my YOLO in the morning might seem like crazy town, but there's a reason to it. There's a method to that madness. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I've got a goal, and the goal is a North Star, right? My win goal and my loss limit, right? We're stop loss basically 0 up there, and for reasons. But our goal is clear. We have a strategy that accounts for the way that we win. And our strategy, our winning goals and our strategy combine on a unit play. And we'll talk about our units here in just a minute. And our bankroll accounts for how we handle loss. How many times can we go back out and do the same thing? Do we go back out and ladder because we have extra bankroll to kind of make up for it? Can we last for longer to make it happen? And all those things kind of combine, right? The way that your mind puts it together and having the discipline to work it the right way and stick to your guns. I said today, we lost 2 come out 7s. I said, we're going to win 3 times at each level, which is a miracle, right? But I knew that if I won twice at any one level, we'd be fine. We'd be in profit. And the extra wins were there to kind of recover loss, right? I took that chance because I knew the math behind it. We were going to be okay when that happened. That takes discipline, right? It takes discipline. You got to connect all those dots together. So I want to talk with us today about unit math. I'll do a little lecture segment here about it, but I really want to spend some time at the table, and I want to break down not just the Iron T, but I want to break down the other one that I play, the 2100 Salute that I play, and break them both down. And we'll talk about kind of where do you get to and how do you recover from your loss? All right, let's get into it. Here we go. We're talking, and again, we're in the middle of this Gambling 301 series, which is all math. And we've done the boring hardcore math already. We did all the calculations and the house edge and all that stuff. In this session, we're going to talk about strategy math, and it's going to basically kind of pick up where the session that we did on units left off, because I think units are the key to the whole thing. Okay. And here's reason number 8, right? Why the house always wins. And I say we are always running uphill, almost always running uphill, right? Jack and Jill went up the hill, each with a pile of chips, and they hit every rock on the way down, right? Garrison is famous for saying right side bettors always die broke, right? Him and John Patrick say that. Greg from 555 Craps, who's been here today, will probably agree with that, right? Right side is hard. And the reason why it's hard is actually, I'll give you another quote from another subscriber of ours, PJ Strong. He says this, and I think it's one of the better visuals I can give you, is that playing the right side, especially as in a cross better, which I admittedly am when I'm on the right side, it's like picking up nickels in front of a steamroller. And what he's saying there is you've got 6 bets across, right? When the 7 comes, you lose 6 bets. When a win comes, you win 1, right? That's what he's talking about. And that is another reason why they always get you. You're always betting way more than what you're getting back. And I think we don't realize that. I think we're looking for this magical thing. And that running up the hill with the pail of water is us, searching out the magic, and it doesn't always come. Okay. So let's dig into what we mean by the strategy accounting for your wins. And here's a question I've got, and it's a legitimate question. I want your answers in the chat, if you would. Do you have a per shooter goal? Do you have a per session goal? And what I mean by that is very simply put, okay, I think most of us would agree that 20%, pardon me, 35%, those are high level goals, right? That's a pretty good goal for a session. Now, if I go out there, let's just take craps, for example. If I go out there with $44 inside, okay, $44, and I get one hit, that one hit is $15, 14, but we'll say $15, right? $15 out of 45. What's the ratio there? That's a third, right? That's a 33% win on that shooter. If I'm 44 inside, right? I got $15. That's a 33% win on that shooter. But what do all of us do? Press it, maybe collect the second time, maybe collect the third time. And I've been doing this for a while now. I got beat bad last night at the casino, doing that exact thing. 44 inside, 3 hits, so 15, 15, 15, and then I'm playing for the home run. Well, guess what happens, right? 15, 15, 15 is 100% profit on that shooter. 100% profit. When we say you got out of the hand, right? That's 100% profit on a shooter. And I want you to remember that. That's hard to do. You bring $1,000 and you win $1,000, it's 100% profit. That's hard to do. Yet right side play is largely based around getting out of the hand, which means 100% profit on a shooter. Think about how tough that is if you did it per session. And the question then becomes this, and here's where your strategy's got to account for this. How many units do you need to win to get to whatever goal that is? Okay. If I'm betting 44 inside in craps and one win is $15, it's a unit and a half. 1.5 units is my win to get to that 33% level. You got to know what that is, right? If I'm looking to get 100% profit, that means 3 wins, right? 3 wins. How many times must I win? How many units must I win? I got to win 2, 4, 6, 8 units in 1.5 unit segments. So you got to think about that. Your strategy has to account for, what do I have out there? What does each win look like in terms of number of units? How many of those units do I need to win to make my goal? How many wins does it take to get those units? All of that is important. The question nobody here ever talks about, I talk about it sometimes, but not nearly enough. What does hitting your goal trigger? And again, when you're building a strategy, and I think one of the best people out there to talk through this is Waylon. Waylon does this and he preaches this like crazy, and we have to listen to this. What is your trigger when you hit your goal? Do you walk? And what I mean by that is, are you done? If I go 96, if I buy in for $1,000 and I go 96 across and I get 1, 2, 3 hits, that for me is another $96. Even if you're just same betting it, right? 21, 21, 21, just pull them back in, right? That's $63, right? If you happen to press one and get a collect, you can be at 96. You can be at 100% win goal. Okay. Do you walk with that? Do you pause and say, that shooter made me, in that case, in that example, 66% of my money? Pause. The trigger for achieving the impossible, which is 2 or 3 hits in a box, you see it every day. The impossible of getting 2 or 3 hits is your trigger. When that happens, pause, wait, shooter did his job, and I'll let 55 rolls go by because I don't care. I made my goal on that shooter. That's the long-term way of thinking, right? For us. Do you go home? Was that your trigger to leave? If I was there with $1,000 and I got out of the hand once and paused, out of the hand a second time, shooter number 2, and paused, I'm up $200, 20%. Do I walk? Does hitting your goal trigger you to walk away? Or does hitting your goal for the shooter, which means 100% win goal on the shooter, mean now I go hard? Which is what most right side players on craps do. Get to their goal, which is 100% win, and then put it all at risk, right? That's the right side mindset. But you got to know this going in. Your strategy is, what is your goal per shooter? What is your goal per session? How many units do you need to win to make that goal? And therefore, based on your bet size, how many times must you win? and what is your trigger. When you're making the strategy, all that math has to come into place. How many wins do you need? Well, let's take an example here. If your unit size, and it can be anything. We talked units yesterday, right? Your units can be $5, $10, $25, whatever it is. Let's say a unit is $10, okay? And your goal is to win 10 units, $100. Okay? What must your bankroll be? That's a question for you to answer for yourself. But here's some betting size examples, right? If you're going to bet 1 unit at a time, you need 7 to 10 wins to get there, depending on the size of your win. If you're betting in the field, you need 10 wins. 10 wins before you lose anything. Remember that piece too, right? 10 clean wins to get to that goal. If you're going to bet 2 units per bet, you need 4 to 5 wins, depending on, again, the size of your win. If you're willing to bet 3 units, and again, this gets into risk appetite, you need 2 to 3 wins. So you can adjust the length of time you're there, right? I will bet more money, so I'm there for a shorter period of time. I'm going to bet more money, 3 units per bet, and just get 2 or 3 wins and I'm out because I'm scared of time. I'm going to bet 1 unit per bet and try and get 7 wins or 10 wins because I don't want to have a lot of money out there, right? That decision in your strategy is up to you. That's based on your risk appetite. That's based on your bankroll. Okay. Each of those betting units has to work within your bankroll. And don't forget, you might be on multiple bets, right? This is talking about, I'm using the field or the pass line as an example there, but if you're betting the across, you're not just betting 1 unit. You're betting way more than that. Okay. How big will your bets be? Right. Another question, right? You're bankroll based, you're risk based. With bigger bets, like I said, you need fewer wins to reach your goal. But the closer you get to the YOLO, the bigger the impact is in your bankroll. I'll take my daily paycheck as an example. I'm out there flailing around sometimes, right? I got $4,500 in the rack, right? I'm putting $2,100 out there. Half my bankroll's out there. Why? 2 hits, right? Big giant impact to my bankroll if I take a 7, but I only need 2 hits and I'm at my goal for the day, right? Bet sizing is important. And again, it's what appetite do you have for, are you okay with losing half of your bankroll in 1 roll? Are you okay with that? Okay. The trade-off to that, there's always a trade-off. It's like like one of those, what do you call it? Like the string's always the same length. It's just where it's at on the plane there, right? It's, less 2 hits and out or 10 hits and whatever. The problem with multiple hits, as you'll see here in a minute, is that it's hard to recover. Okay. Because each loss, you got to recoup it with subsequent wins, right? And it becomes potentially a compounding problem, especially for craps players, but it happens on roulette as well, right? Again, let's take another example. Let's say you're doing a craps and you're in a cross bet, okay? You want to win 10 units today. You got 6 units out there, right? 10, 10, 12, 12, 10, 10, right? You got $64 across. It's 10, or at 6 units, 6 $10 units out there. The average win's about 1.5 units. Okay. You need to win 10 times, right? You're risking 6 units looking for at least 6 wins. 6 wins will get you to 10 units, right? That's a lot. That's 100%. You need to get each one to hit 1 time. Your break even is 4. At 64 across, 4 wins of an average size will get you about $65 in the rack. You need 4 wins to break even, which means what, folks? 100% win goal. 4 wins is 100% profit on the shooter, but you need more than that. You have 6 wins, 6 bets out there to win 10. So there's that part of the math, right? Here's the thing. When you fail to get it, 64 across, I need 4 wins to break even. I need 6 wins to get my goal, and I get 2. What happens? Well, now you're upside down. Now you're upside down, right? You needed 4 to break even. You only got 2. On the next shooter, 64 across, you don't need 6 wins anymore. You need 8 wins. You got to recover the 2 that you lost, plus get 4 new ones to be even, plus 4 new ones to get your goal, right? Accounting for loss is a big deal, okay? What is your way to get there? When you're upside down a couple of wins, you need more wins to recover that. And there's other ways to do it. Your bankroll is the key, right? You can YOLO things, 1 or 2 shots and walk. You can grind, right? You dig a little hole like that. You got to grind to work through it. I say it all the time. How many times do you get where you burn, and you're down and you have a great shooter and all you did was get even because you're so far behind? This is Jack and Jill going up that hill. You get down the bottom of the hill, you're carrying the bucket all the way the hell up that hill. And it's hard because you dig yourself a little bit of a hole. And it happens everywhere. It could happen. I saw a guy last night at the casino betting dark side. And same thing, right? His loss accounting, right, was laddering. He did a don't pass max odds ladder. $10 and max and max. He lost it, $20 in max. He lost it, $30 in max. And we had a really cold, awful table. But what happened was the guys were hitting come out seven. They would set a point, hit the point, set a point, 7 out. So he would get a point, right? He would lose, ladder up, and he was just grinding himself into a hole all day long, right? Terrible table. He lost money because of the way his ladder worked. He never got the subsequent wins to make it work, right? But think about this, okay? Breaking your goal down into units, and for each unit you're looking to win, you got to back it up, I think, with 10 units as far as your bankroll goes, right? And a 10-unit goal requires 100 units. Whether you're betting 1 unit at a time or 5, cover yourself with a 10-to-1 ratio at minimum for your goal, for your win goal. You might want to have more to account for losses depending on what you're going to do. Okay, and again, here's the thing: how do you plan for your recovery? I think your bankroll is the key, right? If you get behind whatever number of units, in my example earlier, I said you got behind 2 units. How do you get it back? How do you recover the 2 units? Right? We have a 6-unit spread. We need 4 to get even. We need 6 units to win our goal, right? We need 4 to be even. The next 2 become our win goal profit, but you only get 2. You're upside down now. You're upside down 2 wins. What do? Do you play that strategy you were playing for more time, longer, right? Or do you say, well, I still want to only have to get 4 wins to break even, so you double the size of your bets. You double the size of your bets, and now the 4 units or the 4 wins that you needed before are still just 4 wins, but you have more money out there. Okay, laddering like that can work when it works, but if you swing and miss, now you're here, and now you're triple the exposure money-wise, and you're still counting at number of wins. So your question is, do I want to play longer at the same level, and now I've got to get 8, 10, 15, 20 wins to get even, or you want to dip into that bankroll and say, well, screw it. We're just going to go higher and keep the number of wins I need the same because I have higher bets. Both of, again, trade-off. One is a trade-off in time. One is a trade-off in not just time, but you got to pull off the miracle. You got to get 25 wins to get back to straight, or just YOLO it. Basically, put your bankroll at risk higher, take the same number of wins, right? You can work a ladder up, ladder down system like Wayland does, and find a way to kind of ladder up and come down and kind of work it like this as you go, as a way to recover your loss. You got to think about that. Your bankroll has got a lot to say about it, right? I think the most important thing though is to understand the number of units you got at risk, the number of units you need to break even, the number of units you need to kind of show that profit. I think that's the most important piece of it, right? Understanding your size. What is your win goal in units? What is your personal risk tolerance or risk appetite? How many wins do you need? And when you lose, don't forget to add the number of units you lost to the number of wins required. Okay. A good way to do that is with white chips, right? Keep a stack of whites that says, I need to win 6, right? I have like a 4 and a 2. And like you start moving the white chips around so you keep track of where you're at. It helps you remember where you are. It's easy. It's a lot easier way to kind of use your rack. And decide your recovery plan. Is it more wins? Is it laddering up? Right? Or are you going to say, screw it, I'm just going to go back to basic strategy, get out of hand on this shooter, or recover my loss in that roulette wheel, and then use my excess profits to home run it. That might be a way too, right? But you've got to think through it. You got to think through all the ways, right, that you're going to be A, exposed, and B, what you need. And I think when you build a strategy, the core of that has got to be this kind of acceptance of the number of units you've got out there. That's such an important thing. We forget that. $500, 64 across, and we're just going to run it until we're broke, right? There's no goal, there's no sizing, there's no accounting for what's going on out there. That's where we all have to change. And I hope that kind of solidifies it. And anyway, I want to go to my craps table here. I'm going to turn the light on. I want to show you and talk through some of this with you and what I was thinking today. And I was thinking about this kind of on the fly. So forgive me if the math is not perfect, but I did this kind of on the fly. Here we go. Let's go to my table. I'm going to show you what I did today with the iron T and why I did it the way I did it. Now, again, this may not be the best, most prescribed way, but here we go. Let's do it. All right, I'm going to use, it doesn't matter what size chip we use, but let's do it with, we'll do it with normal size bets. Okay, $60, 6 and 8. 6 units. And we're going to have a 1/3 of that. 1/3 of that is $20 in the field. Okay, so the ratio of the iron T, 3 to 1, 60 to 20. Okay, and this is an important thing because the way this strategy is constructed, I don't know that there's actually a win goal in this. Let me take these out of here. Is there a win goal in this strategy? I don't know. Okay, but let's look at it. We've got 60, 120, 140 at risk. Okay, we could even say that a decent win goal for this, let's just make our win goal 160. Right? Let's make our win goal. And again, if you look at this in terms of number of units, I've got 6, 12, 14 units at risk. What I want to do is go out here at 160, which would be 16 units. Okay. Effectively, I need to win 10 units here, right? I need to win 16 units. How do I win 16 units? Well, let's just pretend the 8 hits. Right? That pays $70. We would lose 20. 20 goes back in, and there's 10 of the units that or 5 of the units that I needed. If I get another one, let's say the 6 wins for $20 or $70, replace the loss of the field, and now I've got 10 units in my rack. Okay, thinking about it in terms of that, say, well, is that enough for me to be okay? Right? Again, a win goal of 160, you need 3 wins up here to get that. And again, thinking about goals for the shooter. Matter of fact, if I'm out here for 140, which we are, 120, 140, and I catch a hit up here for $50, that's actually more than 30%, right? $50 is a third of 150. That's pretty damn good, right? That's actually, I would say, a PDG goal right there, right? This shooter made me $50. I got to be happy with that. That's actually fantastic, right? If I was out here for 600, 600, and 200, and I caught a win up here for a net $500 win, bye-bye. Like, that's okay, right? But we don't think of it in terms of win goals per shooter. We think of it in terms of how much money can I make today? That's number one. Now, let's say we lose. Let's say that the bad thing happens. We lose all these bets, okay? And there's a couple of ways to approach it. And I'm going to take this as a 2-hit strategy. Let's just say we're looking for that $100 win. Okay? That's our goal. If it would have worked here with 2 hits and we lose this, there's a couple of ways to go. Let's say that we are down. We're down 140. And I think my microphone's off, right? Is that what happened? Did I do it again? Did I do it again? God. I always do this, don't I? Let me switch. Bang. Bang. Can you hear me now? I always do this. I always do it. I'm going to go back and restate some of that because I want to make sure that we talk through it. Here we go. Here we go. I'm going to restate what I said. Let's look at this is the iron T. Okay, the iron T, and this is a Greg and DJN put this out yesterday. Again, Jacob from Wage Me This has done very similar things. He's the Iron Cross master, that guy, right? Here we go. We've got $60 in the 6 and 8, $20 in the field. That's a 3 to 1 ratio. Okay. Talk about win goals first. What's your win goal per shooter? This is basically $150. Okay. If you catch a win up in here, that's $70. You lose your field. If you were to put the field bet back, you're up $50. Okay. That's a 33% win. It's more than that. It's about 35% win on this shooter, which is pretty amazing. Think about that. That's a huge win on this shooter. It's awesome. Okay. You could be done. This is that. What's my trigger? Pause. Next shooter. Right. That's a perfectly fine thing. As a matter of fact, like I said, if these were 600, 600, and 100 or 200, that's $500. Remember the unit math yesterday? If you add zeros to things, right? If I'm up here at 600, 600, and 200, rather, and we catch a win on an 8, that's a $700 win minus the 200 in the field. Guess what? That's a $500 win. That's a beautiful thing right there, right? You're looking for a daily paycheck. You want to roll up to the casino, make one throw, and go home. That ain't bad, okay? But let's take a look at this strategy. And here's one of the beauty parts of it. And I think if you take that first win and say, hey, we got a win, awesome. Let's go down by half. Let's take every bet down by half. And again, we're out there for 140 to start. Guess what? When you do that, where are you? You've got 120 back in your rack. Okay, so that first hit, and you regress, you're at almost no risk at this point. You're almost no risk. One roll, right? We almost got 100%. If we catch another hit in here for 35 bucks, okay, now where are we? If we were to pull everything down, where we get to, there's 125. That's the 140 that we started with. We have 50, 75, 90 bucks. Okay, 90 bucks out of 140, basically 2/3. Pretty good profit after 2 rolls, after 2 hits up here. That's ideal. And again, think about your goal per shooter, not necessarily your goal for the day. But let's go back where we just were and put it back. Let's go here, 10 in the field, and put this money back in the rack. And there's our, I'm going to take that 35 bucks back home and reset the rack. We have 120 bucks in the rack. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we've regressed down. Now, we catch our next little win right there. The next regression happens. Pull it all down. Right, you lose your 10 bucks. You would go 5 bucks in the field and a $12 6 and 8. I'll get a dollar change and regress a second time. Drawdown style. $12 6 and 8. $5 in the field. Bring back 50. 65 plus from before. Let's get our bankroll right. There's 125, 140. That's our starting. This represents a $45 lock in profit in the rack, locked in profit. Plus we've regressed the third time. This could easily come back home. 24, 30 more bucks, right? Or you can play it out. And here's where you start playing the game, right? The goal for this strategy, right, was 2 hits to profit. 1 hit could be enough. Now, what happens if you lose? Let's go back up here. Let's really look at this part. This is the thing I want to break down. Not so much for this strategy itself, but for any strategy, really. We'll do it a couple of times here. So what is the loss recovery? 60, 60, and 20. Okay? There's 2 ways to recover loss here. One way is to say, well, we got fried. We lost 140 bucks. I'm going to put that here. 125, 140. I'll put the 140. I'm going to put that in front. That's what we're chasing. Okay? Let's chase it 2 ways. Let's take a look at what we need to win here. We need to get back now 14 units, which is yikes, right? Plus get to our win goal. So I'm going to show you 2 ways to do it. We're going to go with a ladder. We're going to double up 120 on the 6 and 8 and 40 in the field. And we'll do the same move. Double the size, same move. Let's see what happens. That's going to pay 140 in the box. We'll lose 40 bucks in the field. We're going to ladder down and go back to 60 bucks on the 6 and 8. I'll get some greens here. So half the size, 60 and 20. We're going to bring back some blacks and some greens to our rack. I'll spread that out so you can enjoy it. Okay, take that dollar from before out of there. Okay, and remember we had 120, that's 240 plus 4, it's 280 was out there. We're looking to get 280 back plus profit. If we catch a win here, again, same pattern. It's going to win 70 bucks minus 20. Put that back $50 more comes to the rack, and we can ladder down just like before. And here we go. Let's see where we are in the rack. Remember, we had 280 out there, right? I'm going to take these reds and make them look like they're green chips. All right. We started that whole process with 280, but we had lost the 140 from before. So we need to get 140 plus 280 to feel like we're even. Are we there? 140, here's the 275. There's the 280 that we put out there just now. We're still chasing 140 bucks. What do we have in the rack? 80. What do we have out here? There's 140 bucks. At this point, we're $5 in profit. That we've recovered ourselves to $5 in profit, but we're not to our goal yet. We need to play here and stay at our goal, right? The next hit at 35 bucks gets you where you want to be. So option one, double the size of your bets and do the same move. Don't change the number of wins that you need. Change the size of the win that gets you. That's one option. That requires bankroll to get us home, okay? Now, if you're risk averse in terms of bankroll, what we could have done instead to recover is this. This is what I did in the garage this morning. I decided to say, well, I'm not willing to put out 280. I'm not doing 280 today. I don't want to double the bets. I decided to take longer runs at it. Do the same thing, but double the time. So in other words, instead of saying 70 bucks, replace the 20 and regress, I put the 50 in the rack and did it again. 70 bucks, right? Minus the 20 is 50 bucks in the rack. And then I regress. What that means to me is that in my rack, I've got 140 that recovers my first loss. I'm still out here for this. I'm going to take $35 on a win, replace the field, rack the green. I'll take $35 again, lose the field, replace it, and rack a green. And if I pull it back now, where are we? There's 140 from the first run. There's 125. Whoops. 140 from the second run. So I recovered my loss. I recovered what I went out there with the second time, and I've got 10 bucks in profit, and now I start over. So recovery plan one, double the bets and take your same number of hits. Recovery plan two, same size bets, double the number of hits. Both get us in essentially the same spot. It depends on where your risk lies, but you've got to know when you're making a strategy how many units were out here. 28 units were out here that second time versus 14 the first time. And as I'm recovering my loss, that's how we approached it, okay? So that's a look at the iron T as a way to do that. And I can do the same thing with the other strategy that I've been doing, that big money strategy, right? The 2100 salute, I call it, right? Same sort of thing, right? Let's put that out there. Let's go out there with, let's do, I can do it with 250 across. We'll do it at 250. We'll go 60, 40, and 25s. All right. There's 250 across. Okay. Actually, no, that's wrong. What am I doing here? Wrong strategy. I want to make this 42. Can't do 45 at this level. 42. So this is 204 across. Okay. Everything here pays 50 bucks. Right? 4 and 10 pay 50 bucks. 35 and a 5 and 9 pays 50 bucks. 42, 6 and 8. These are 50 for one, all of them. Okay. This is a 2-hit strategy. Okay. 2-hit strategy. What I did this morning was, let's say the 9 pays 50 bucks, right? And I pulled the 9 down to table minimum. And I started with 204. I've got 70 bucks, 75 bucks back in the rack. I've got not quite half, but I'm working towards half my money back in the rack. Looking for a second hit. Let's say the 5 hits, 50 for one. And now everything comes down, right? Everything now becomes table minimum. take the 4 down, and check it out. We're going to go here, here, and we started out with 204. There's 100. There's 205. I've got $35 locked in profit, and I got 64 across, right? That is that strategy, right? You draw down one number, second hit, got your profit locked up, and you're off to the races. Now, what happens if you lose? Same thing. You have two choices when you lose. Okay, we can do the same move. Let's say that we are down 250. We lost the whole damn thing. Down 250. What do? Right? Run the same move at 500. Totally possible, right? That's a right. We can run it out there. $500 would look like. Let's see. We're going to go to 80 on the 5 and 9. Okay, these were at 42. We can actually make those just $90 just to make it easier. Easier math there. We can go 90, 90, 75, 75, and 50, 50. We'll just do it like that. It's not quite double, but it's working towards double, right? So make the bets bigger, okay? And take a hit on an 8 for 105. Take the 8 down, 2 table minimum. Take a hit on the 9 for 105. And then take everything down to minimum. Right? Again, it's the same 2-hit strategy, just that the hits were a lot bigger this time. Let's get quarter. Where are we? Well, we start with 500 that time, right? It's 100, 200, 300, 400. There's our 500. And there's 76 brought back plus what's out here. So you've recovered your loss and you're back to playing again. Again, doubling the bet size and doing the same move works. Same as doing the same move at the same size 4 times would work. Again, you got to think about what is your recovery plan. And again, the more you do this double up thing, the worse it can get for you, right? If you don't get it again, now you're out here at 1,080 across, right? To do that, that's a very slippery slope when you're chasing your losses without a plan. And I think that knowing your unit size goal, how many units your losses need to win, is an important piece of that. So anyway, there it is. There's a couple of quick looks at ways to recover. Again, one with a builder, right? Let's come back over here again. Let's turn the light off and come back over here. All right. So your recovery plan can be a couple things. And again, a couple quick examples, right? One, get more wins. I need to turn that light off. There we go. Yeah, the recovery plan can be a couple things, right? One, same bet size, get more wins, right? If I went out there at 204 again, if I lost 204 the first time, right? Now I'm down 4 $50 units. Let's say my unit size was $50. I'm down 4 of those, which means I've got to win 4 times to recover my loss and then 2 more times to get my actual goal. If my goal is to win $100, okay? 204 across for 2 hits is a $100 win, right? If I lose a 204, I'm down 4 units. I got to win 4 times to get even and then 2 times to win. That's that slope we talked about. Or go out there at 500 across and get 2 wins, which gets my loss back plus my profit. I'd be back where I wanted to be. You got to think about what your recovery plan is going to be. If you don't have that locked in your brain, if your recovery plan is just do it what I was going to do anyway, and then hope for the miracle after that, it's going to be a long day at the office for you. And that's just the way this works out. So let me go to questions and see if anybody in here has got any PCs for me or questions. Do a Q first. Qs. Let's see. Oh, that's the wrong thing. I'm going to filter them here. Q. Let me turn this. Okay, let's see what I got here. Questions. Dice Dr. Dan says, when looking for 2 hits to make paycheck, which seems better? 4,000 buying with $800 in win goal and a 4,000 loss limit, or 2-hit win goal plus a 1 loss at stop loss? Probably the 1 loss, right? I think what I've been doing is kind of, okay, let's go after it again, right? And really, if I'm saying I'm going to put $2,100 at risk to win 900, which is what that strategy does. Okay, 2 hits is $900. And I'm saying I'm going to give it a shot, and we're going to get it or not, walk out with a $2,000 loss or a $900 win, fine. What I've been doing is saying, well, that sucked. Let's do it again. And we burn $4,000 if we don't get it twice, right? And you're saying, what is the better thing there? Again, this becomes a bankroll risk decision, right? I get 2 cracks at it if I do it the way I'm doing it, or I can go out there with 4,000 across and take 1 hit at 4,000 across, get my $900 and be done in 1 roll, right? Again, risk appetite versus risk aversion. And it's bankroll usage versus bankroll non-usage, right? If I brought 4K, you bring 4K so you can use 4K. I'm using 4K as if I don't get it once, I'll try it the second time, versus I'm going to bring 4K and we're going to give it 1 shot. And that's going to be a 1 roll deal. Every day YOLO, right? That's a risk aversion, risk tolerance question for you to ask. Let's see. Anything else? More cues. And Dan says, are we there to catch the long roll and make a profit and leave? Again, goal, right? Is your goal per shooter? This goes back to my earlier discussion, right? Is your goal for the session? Let's say $1,000, you want to win 100 or $200, right? That's your session goal. You can break that down into, say, for this shooter, I'd like to win whatever percent. And again, I think we forget, and I said this earlier, we forget that when you say I got out of the hand, that was 100% win. Like I can't stress that enough. Like I got out of the hand that I'm playing for free on Casino Money means you got 100% profit on a shooter. Think about that. Like sink that in. I go 64 across, I win $64 and I'm playing for free. That's 100% freaking profit. Go do that in the stock market. Go do that every day, right? I guarantee you won't do that on 5 consecutive shooters. You'll get it on 1 shooter, and then 3 guys in a row are going to burn you for 2 units or 3 units in loss. That's the way this game works, right? You're going to get 100% win goal, play for free, and I'm the man. And then 2 or 3 guys in a row burn, and you're out. Where'd that profit go? I was up $100 a minute ago. Now I'm down $50. What happened to it? Well, because you didn't accept that profit and stop playing, right? If your goal is give myself a chance to hit a home run 10 times, 10 times my goal is to make 100% profit on the shooter and then lay it out there and hope that that guy keeps going, fine. But you're going to put the whole $500 at risk or your whole bankroll at risk to do that. That's mindset, right? That's, again, your goal is, if that's your goal, fine. It's usually not my goal. My goal is usually go in there, get a win, and get the hell out. Now, that goal changes. I say this all the time when I'm with people. If I'm going to play with friends and I know I've got a 4-hour session ahead of me or a 2-hour session ahead of me, I don't just go $50 and go home or $100 and go home. I play in different ways. I'm trying to hit home runs and do the ATS and do things that are going to be fun and last longer. But that's, again, mindset. I know that going in that's how it's going to be. Let's see. Who else here? Ryan says, most people don't follow their win goal because they don't know what's in their rack. True. Pay attention to your rack. And I can actually show you another little rack trick here. Let me actually switch back to the table. I'm going to show you a quick rack trick because that's actually a great point, Ryan. More coffee in my life over here. Let's use our cross example. Let's go 64 across. Okay. And I'm actually going to lay this out for you because I want you to see what this looks like. Actually, we'll do 44 inside. A little easier to kind of see the numbers here. 44 inside. Let's say that our goal is 100%. Right? I want to win 100% on this. I want to win $45 on this shooter. And the simplest way to do it is 44 inside. There's 6 white chips in my rack. Okay. We catch a 9, and it's 15 for 1. Oh shit! I got the wrong freaking microphone again. Let's switch it. I always do that. There we go. Okay, back at the table. Here we go. Let's set it up. 44 inside. Okay, we got $6 in the rack, and I may even use other chips. And let's just kind of lay this out. Okay, we know that to win, to get out of the hand. Okay, and I want to lock a profit. To get out of the hand is 3 hits. We know that because you're going to get 15 for 1, 15 for 1, and 15 for 1, right? For $3, you win $45. And that's basically 100% win. If I take this back to the rack, there's 45 plus 3 is 48, right? Minus $2, that's 100% profit. We need 3 hits to make that happen, okay? And I'm going to say, you know what I want to do? I want to actually, my win goal for the day, let's say my win goal for the day is $50, okay? Well, there's 2 ways to look at this. I need 3 more wins, right? You can say I need 6 wins today. Or let's say my win goal is, let's just say that. My win goal is 6 wins, okay? But it takes me 3 wins to get even and 3 wins to get my win goal. I need 6 wins off this table to make this work, or 6 net unit wins to make it work, okay? So what you can do to track yourself is this. I know I need 3 to break even. I need 3 to get my goal, my extra goal. And then if I lose what's out here, we got here. Let's roll the dice, right? There's a 3, midnight. Oh, look at this ATS roll, 7, 9. Okay, here we go. We get 3 wins. We got an 8. There's $15. That's 1 win, right? If I'm looking at my goal thing, and let's make these white. I'm gonna make these white chips. White chips are easier to play with. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. My break-even stack is over here, right? To break even, now I just need 2 things to break even, okay? I know where I am. There's a 5. Okay, that's $15. I need 1 more to break even. Midnight, 7. Perfect. I got a 7. We lose this. How many am I down? I got 2 units back, right? The next time I set $44 up, I now need 4 units to break even. And I haven't even started on my win goal yet. I need 4 units to get back. Let's get a point. There's a 10. 8, $15. 3 units to get back to even. 5. Another $15. I need 2 units to get even. Midnight, of course, right? 8. Hey, we're gonna get it, right? $15. 1 more to get even. I had to recover. There's an 8. We did it. We got even. Let's prove it that we're even. There's $75, 85, $90. We were out here 44 inside twice. Once we lost, our second one is there. That's $90. There it is. We have broke even. But see how I tracked that? My rack needed to know that I needed the 4 wins because I compounded my loss to get. Now I'm even. Now we're working on profit. Okay, and remember, if I've gotten even, what's out here is profit. This is 1, 2, 3 units. This is my profit, by the way. I can pull this down and say, I have my goal hit, right? When you get out of the hand, you've probably hit your goal for the shooter, but you don't think of it. Okay, well, cool. Now I'm playing for free. Now I need 3 wins to get out, to make my money. Guess what happened? I burn it, right? We still need 3 wins to show our profit for the day, and now I'm back to needing 3 wins to get back to even again. And if you do this with your rack and kind of manage where you're at visually, what do I need to get back? And how do I get up? Remember, getting even oftentimes is the goal. It is 100% goal. I mean, think about how hard it is to make 100% profit. I mean, my God, I can't say that any more clearly. Like, it is hard to make 100% profit in anything. And every time a craps player says, I got out of the hand, that's 100% profit. That's pretty cool, right? And I think we should celebrate that more than we do, right? I think we should celebrate that more than we do. Wayland says on a different note here that the fielder, the 68 fielder, can turn the red cross on a long roll and a hot shooter. It can turn into it for sure. I think that, like, to me, there's this iron T, there's the red cross, there's my crossbow. There's all these ways to play the iron cross. A lot of ways to play it. All of them, right, can be morphed into from each other. I think they all have a place. And again, it's all about the longevity. The red cross to me is about playing it for a long time. The iron T is about playing it for a short time. The iron T is like hit, 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 go by. The red cross is more of a, let's play this for a long time and build it up and make massive profit. The red cross catches a hot roll better. The iron T gets you out quick. So that's a great point there. Let's see what we have. Dark Star says it's smart to get out of the hand quick, and again, or get out of the field quick. Yeah, I agree. The field's a tool to get out of the hand, or in the Red Cross, the field, you keep that, and the field feeds those box numbers and makes them more powerful. So there it is. Jen says, I don't have a per shooter goal, but it's a good idea being twits and off on all bets to lock in the win. I mean, honestly, I said this yesterday. I think that I'm going to be done here in a minute. Yesterday, I made this statement that we tend to look at dollars too much, right? And I think of all of this talk, I think get the idea of dollars out of your head. And I think that's going to be the most important takeaway from this. $15 isn't a lot of money, right? I think a lot of people get hung up on this. I go out there 44 inside and I get one hit and it's $15 and I go, done. 35% win on my bets. That's a huge win. It's a huge win. If I was out there for 4,400 inside, okay, that one win is $1,500, and that's a lot of money. If I was out there for 440 inside, that's $150. It's a lot of money. I'm out there for 44 inside, it's $15, and you go, don't need that, right? Somebody said in our chats a few weeks back, the win amount should not be a life-changing amount that you're going for. Your win goal should not be a life-changing goal, nor should your loss limit be a life-changing loss, right? If you look at that 44 inside as 4 units and you win 1.5 units on a win, percentage-wise, that's amazing, okay? Sports bettors, Dice DGen talks about this all the time with the sports plays, right? A betting unit in sports might be 25 cents. It might be $1. It might be $10. Whatever your unit size is different for every bankroll. But you're going to make a 2-unit bet on a game that you're confident in, or a 1-unit bet in a game that you're not confident in. Doesn't matter if you're winning 25 cents or you're winning $2,500. The unit that's out there at risk has a job to do. And in 44 across, $15, those bets did their job. They earned 35% roughly profit. That's an amazing thing. Put $45 in the stock market and tell me, come back to me in a month when that $45 looks like 60. Tell me in a month when that $45 earns you $15. It won't even be, it'll take more than a month, right? It doesn't work that way, but this does. And we got to embrace that. I think we have to embrace that. So, let's see. It was you that said that. Did I get one wrong? I'm sorry. Did I put somebody's wrong statement out there? If I did, I apologize. Oh, it was you that said, yeah, about the life-changing goals. Yeah, that's I want to give you credit for that. That was a great statement. I'm going to steal that. I think it's a wonderful way to put it, right? We fixate on, somebody said to me one time, are you telling me that you drive to the casino to win $50? I'm like, yes, I do. I will drive 45 minutes to win $50 and I'll come home and I'll be happy with that, right? Why? Because I'm building a bankroll. Every $50 counts. And B, oftentimes, if I can turn $44 into $50, that's awesome. Get out of here. You broke the law by doing that. You broke everything. You broke math by making 100% profit. Buy. You know what I mean? Buy. Have the balls to be out of there. Anyway, I gotta go. It's work time. 9:00 in the morning Pacific time. You guys are awesome, by the way. Great chats today. Great stuff. I missed a lot of it, but what I saw was really thoughtful and good. Amazing group of people. Good to see Greg back. Greg and Waylon talking. This is great. Love it. I love it. As you can tell, I'm more getting into the bigger money, less time. However, I'm about to go on a cruise where I've got to last for 7 days, right? There will be no big money plays for me on a cruise. We're going to be slow rolling that thing because I got to last, right? This is a goal mindset change for me, right? We're going to have to play tiny for massive numbers of hours versus hit and run. There's no hitting and running when you're a captive audience. So anyway, love you all. God bless you all. Again, prayers for the Robinsons. If you want to help them out, watch the video at the end here. It's going to be an ad for veterans moving forward. That's where your donations ought to go, earmarked for the Robinson family. So all that said, y'all, God bless. Thanks. Have a happy Wednesday, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.